Today, Tim and I are here to talk about our recent changes which will allow you to manage API access for the admins in your organization and the introduction of a new admin role. So we both are going to switch off and be talking about the various aspects. So bear with us. All right, our agenda today is going to be the disable enable API access as the first step, followed by the addition of the billing only admin role. And then we'll be talking about some upcoming changes to the API keys that you have today and how we will be introducing the concept of API tokens, and then we will take questions. You're free to ask questions in the chat. And Becky or Bashi, if you wouldn't mind monitoring and making sure that I don't miss them while I'm talking, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. All right, jumping into this. So Tim, you ready? And I'm going to drive the slides for you.
Perfect. Thanks, Subha. As mentioned before, I'm Tim Croxdale. I am a product designer here at JumpCloud, and partnering with Subha and a ton of other people, this is what we came up with as a solution to provide more ability with our API keys. So if we jump into the next slide, I'll show you how a view of what we put into place to allow our admins upon creation of an admin or even editing. As you can see here, we are now allowing to either enable or disable access for an API. And so previously everybody had access here. And so this is kind of the first step in the direction that we want to take this. If you go to the next screen, I'll show you a view of if somebody set me up as an admin and I don't have the ability for an API, this is the view that I get. So they would still go in the same spot, and it would just give me a message letting me know that I actually don't have the permission to generate one. And you can see here similar patterns that we use throughout our platform. And I would need to reach out to my admin who set me up to grant me access. The next view, if we jump in one more, is when an admin does have the ability to create an API key, he or she would go the same way that you do today, generate a key, and this is your one-time view, and we make that clear in the messaging and allow you a quick way to copy down that key. And this, again, is the only time that we're going to show you that key. So if you were to come back here, you could generate a new one. And then again, you get this screen. So that, again, this is kind of a nod in the direction that we want to take things with being more secure and allowing you more control over your API keys. And now I'll turn it back over to you, Subha.
Thank you, Tim. So for those of you that are admins in JumpCloud, you already have an API key that is provisioned to you by default. Going forward, this change, when you're creating new admins, will not automatically enable API access. So the access will be disabled, and you have to, I'm going back to a couple screens, you have to explicitly check that box under permissions and access so as to give them permissions to the API. So even with that, they don't get an API key until they go in and click on the My API key and generate one. These are the changes, just so you're aware. For those of you who are regular API key users, you may have noticed this having gone into effect in December, right before the holidays. And so if you have any other questions on here, throw them in chat, or we can talk about it at the end as well. All right, jumping into the next thing, billing only admin role. Now, how many of you have always wanted someone who is in your finance team to access and download invoices that JumpCloud has on their own without giving them an admin with billing role or they could be destructive at best and accidentally delete users or something like that. So this is in answer to that question that you've all asked. So now, in addition to all the amazing roles we already have, we have a new billing only role. They, as the name suggests, only have access in our platform to the areas that pertain to them, which is account details, which is being able to change credit card information, or going on the invoices page and download invoices. So you will see if you have a multi-tenant portal admin who has a billing only role, they will have access to the account page. They can see the account overview. They can see the payment history. They can go into the billing information and change credit card, or they can also go into the usage. And this is important to know. If you are an MSP, you will be able to, as a billing only role, set user caps and license caps for all the tenant organizations. Right, so this is what the billing only role buys you. And notice there is no more navigation elements on the top, so they cannot access anything else. They cannot navigate into organizations, and so this is very restrictive role, and you could safely provide this access. And this access also goes into API. Their scope is also limited via API if they're trying to access or trying to figure out, hey, let me go find a user that I can suspend now. No, they can't do it. So we'll not allow them to do it. So, right, absolutely. We will not have finance people coming in here and accidentally clicking something they shouldn't have clicked, or providing themselves maybe a sudo access they shouldn't have, right? So, okay. And on the admin portal, so when you're logged in as a billing only admin role, we'll take you and show you the account overview page where you can see what your entitlements are, whether you're a free account, you're a trial account. Then you have the ability to go into our pricing pages and buy a new plan if you would like, and then of course change credit card information. So that's essentially it for the billing only role. But note, as a billing only role, you also have a few other privileges. We do allow you to have, if you have subscribed to our premium support, you can live chat with an agent if you have any questions directly, if you have billing questions you want to ask. So the chat down in the bottom, and now it's a little small, tiny font here to see, but you will be able to access that. You will also be able to access the case portal. If you submitted any support cases and you want to see, hey, what's going on, you will be able to see the case portal from the support. You can get to our knowledge base articles, and you will also be able to see if there were any new releases that probably pertain to you. So you can see the what's new. So these things are available to you. You can, of course, go in here, change your password, all of that good stuff. So all of that is still available, but other functionality is empty. You cannot access our navigation and go anywhere else. All right. Next, I wanted to introduce you to some upcoming changes, right? While we are on the topic of API keys, API tokens with time to live keeps coming up. A lot of you who use our APIs have asked us, hey, your API keys live forever. Can I have them expire on a regular basis so that I don't have to remember and put it on my calendar to go rotate them? So we hear you loud and clear, and we are going to be introducing this feature coming up. So we are moving away from our classic API keys to API tokens. Why are we doing this? API tokens will allow for time-based access to resources, right? And I think I saw somewhere on the chat as it passed by me, more granularity, more scoping. Yes, this is where we are headed with API tokens. We will begin with offering you the ability to create multiple API tokens. Today, you are probably creating alias admin accounts, right, to do various functions with the APIs. So, if you want to integrate to something, you're using one, I don't know, a Subha Sriram plus integrate SSO, and then you're going to do something for Radius and so on and so forth. You're creating different things, aliases, so that you can get access to separate keys and you can keep them organized. Now we are going to allow you to, as just a single user, create multiple tokens for different purposes and even name them, give them friendly names so you know what these tokens are being used for. We are going to allow you to set an expiration time, like a date. We'll give you some defaults and we will allow you to set a date so that they expire on their own and you don't have to put it in your calendar to go rotate them. And eventually these tokens will also get you into the fine-grained control that you are looking for over the resources that you want access to. Today, they are going to be based on the scopes that our roles offer, but over a period of time, we are moving into much more granular scoping. So moving into tokens allows us the ability to do that. So it is just like a eye chart to give you a difference between our classic keys and API tokens, right? Like classic keys today, as you all have them, it's one hashed personal key per admin. In future, you can create multiple tokens once the API tokens go live. And the classic keys will always only have scopes of the user that is created, right? So if you are a manager, well, you only have scopes for the manager. Whereas in the API tokens world, if I'm a manager, I might also be able to create a help desk token, or I might be able to create a read-only token, right? Scopes that are below me, scopes that I have and I have the power over. So as an admin with billing, I can create scopes, all the scopes of API tokens. Classic keys never expire. And obviously, this is one of the biggest advantages of the API tokens. They will have a time to live, which you will be able to set up. And we are going to be able to collect metadata around that. We are allowing friendly API key names. This allows you to have better access to the DI events based on these key usages. Right now, it's hard. We do allow you to see how the API keys are used, but it's a little hidden in our JSON, as you all know, through the auth method to see, this key was used. And now you don't know which key was used either. You know there was an API access made. With the new API token, you will know which key was used to make what access. So not because you will see the key, but you will see the name, the friendly name. And so the auditability and the visibility of that increases. And now I'm going to pass it over to Tim to walk through the designs and how this is going to all play out.
These are just a couple early wires too, just throwing that out there, right? That by the time we actually get this in the platform, might look a little different. But as Subha said, we are bringing you more functionality to the way that we provide you the ability to manage your tokens. And so what you're looking at on the screen, even though it's small in that top left, is the way that you will be able to go in and actually create a token. And so, we ask you to name it. So give it a useful name there. You set your time to live, and then you get the ability to set your role. And then once you do that, that middle screenshot is a view of, when you have multiple tokens that you can get a quick look at what the name is, when it expires, and what the role is associated with it. The bottom view there on the bottom right is actually a screenshot of our existing admin portal. The piece to hone in here on is that there's an existing certificate and token status board that we would then pull in this information into. So you don't even need to jump into that middle screen anymore. You would be able to have that high level view of what's going on with your tokens and see when they expire. So just bringing you more control over what you have created and what you have coming up. So that is the essence of these screenshots.
And then we get over to questions. Does anybody have any questions? I saw a couple come through chat, and I think Kelly had a question, and I don't know if I missed a few. These were the more recent.
I can read them off to you. We have a thing where we toss them over to. Ross was asking, so what role is able to modify allowing admins to create APIs? I assume administrator with billing.
What role is able to modify allowing admins to create APIs? And that is administrator with billing. Yes.
Okay, good. And then, yes, Kelly had said, does the billing only admin receive notifications of any kind? That might be useful for us as an MSP to manage billing related emails.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like Kelly, let's talk about what kind of notifications you're looking for, right? At the moment, like we do have admin with billing receiving these, and we will be making changes to have the billing only admin also receive some of the emails, especially related to usage on the MSP when you're getting closer to usage limits and such, or you've exceeded. I think those kind of emails, absolutely. Are there other notifications you're looking at? Feel free to reach out, and we can have a conversation around this as well.
Okay, and this is more of a general API question. If anyone has any general tips, tricks for using APIs, I'm all ears. Kelly recently started using them at work.
I would actually open that to the community, right? Like to be truthful, I think all of y'all use the APIs way more than we use the APIs on a daily basis. So I'm sure you have a lot of tips and tricks on how you would use them. So yeah, please
Yeah.
share it with Kelly if you have any.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Joe asked, what is the ETA for this change?
For the API token, so this is actually ongoing work, Joe. So we are looking at it as the first half of the year. So you will start hearing news about it soon. So engineering is working on it as we speak. So you will start seeing changes crop up and communications coming around this soon.
Okay. And then he had a follow-up. Will expirations show on dashboard like MDM?
Absolutely. That's a very good question. Yes, we do. We will be showing on the certificate and token status board monitor. We will also have API tokens expiring showing up in there, taking you to the API token page where you can expire and create a new one. You can delete that token and create a new one.
Okay. And Kelly's kind of follows up with that too. Because in addition to, showing on the dashboard, is there any sort of notification around them expiring?
Yes, there will be a notification around them expiring, just as you would have certificate notifications as well via email. So we will let you know. So the admin that created that token is the one who will be notified about the expiration coming up on that as well. So yeah, it will be available in both places.
Perfect. And I think that was all. Urvashi, did I miss any?
This one's not really a question, but Ross was saying that we need WebAuthn support for login to the admin portal, and Subha responded in the chat saying it's on the horizon.
Yes, it's definitely in the year's roadmap, so you would hear from it in one of the ID hours from one of my product peers.
Great. Glad to hear that. In fact, I know Urvashi had been encouraging a feature request, and Ross said, I filed that one already. So
I love it.
On top of it.
I love it when customers say, I've already filed it. I'm like, see, that's the way we track it. So I'm so happy to hear you were on top of it, Ross.
Absolutely. And Charles is saying, Kelly hit me up, well-versed in the APIs, which reminds me that Charles actually, I believe, wrote Charles, didn't you write some API blog posts on the Radical Admin blog? I can dig those up and send those to Kelly. I think some of those series of posts were on APIs, but I haven't had a lot of coffee yet. So he did write some posts, but whether they were all on APIs, I don't remember. But we can definitely find you some resources on that. Thanks for volunteering, Charles. Appreciate that.
Please subscribe and check out more content from us.